lacrosse fans, and welcome to semifinal Friday at the Junior B Tier 1 National Championship, the 2025 Founders Cup, live from the 7G Sportsplex on the beautiful Tsuut'ina Nation. As your host, the Calgary Shamrocks organization is proud to welcome the best junior lacrosse players from across the country to Calgary. This afternoon, a berth in the Founders Cup final is on the line as the Alberta champion, the Mountainview Mavericks, face off against the British Columbia representatives, the Coquitlam Adanacs. At this time, we ask that you please rise if you're able and remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem.
In the spirit of respect, reciprocity, and truth, we honor and acknowledge that we are on the traditional territory of the peoples of Treaty 7, including the Blackfoot Confederacy, comprising of the Siksika, Piikani, and Kainai First Nations, the Tsuut'ina First Nation, and the Stoney Nakoda, including the Chiniki, Bearspaw, and Goodstoney First Nations. The city of Calgary is also home to the Métis Nation of Alberta, Districts 5 and 6. This land has long been a gathering place for many Indigenous peoples. We recognize and honor all nations, Indigenous and non-Indigenous, who live, work, and play here and who continue to care for and enrich this territory. We have finally made it. It's the Founders Cup semifinal, the first of two, and we here at BC Sports TV are coming to you live from the Wolf Automotive broadcast booth, celebrating over 100 years serving Alberta drivers. Wolf Calgary Chevrolet GMC Buick at 768 101 Street Southwest, right off Stoney Trail. Same ownership, new dealerships, and home of the Oil Change for Life program. It's Tino Farah, it's Cody Jansen, it's cameraman extraordinaire George Para. It's the Adanacs and the Mavericks. A berth in the Founders Cup final is on the line. We'll get an early whistle, and the Adanacs are going to grab first possession. They are the first place team from the A pool, facing off against the second place Mountainview Mavericks. Coquitlam had to take down all three teams in their path through the round robin phase to book their ticket here, capped off with a win over Queen City yesterday afternoon. A game which they trailed early before this man right here, Lincoln Twomley, put up a 4-goal performance. A Herculean effort to drag his team into that leading position. These Mountain View Mavericks with a 2-1 record. They officially booked their spot with a win over Nova Scotia last night. Mitchelluk fires wide past the starter for the Adanacs. Of course, it'll be Ben Tebow. At the other end, it's Alex Swan. More on them momentarily as Victoria will fire one wide. Big rebound. It's collected and knocked down by Miles Archibald. Cody, this is going to be a big matchup. There's a lot on the line here between these two clubs that are a little unfamiliar with each other.
Yeah, and the Adanacs offense obviously is going to be key to this. How quick can they get to Swan? Because if you can get to the Mavericks early and get a lead, then you just have to play responsible defense, but you got to slow down the quickest team in Canada as well.
Darian Murray did not get into the game yesterday. Draws back and opens the scoring. It's 1-0 for the A's.
Fresh legs, fast finish. A minute 21 into this one. Murray gets around his defender. Hands are free. Definitely one Swan's going to want back, but it goes 5-0. It goes low on him. And the Adanacs get a hot strike early.
Well, if the question was how quick can they get to Alex Swan, the next question is going to be how quickly can Swan respond after that. That you could see it on the replay. It just twists his stick a little bit. The Mavericks had a big opening game. It was a loss against the Hunters on day one of the tournament. But to me, that was the best that they've looked throughout this entire tournament. I truly feel if they can get back to what found them some success against the Hunters, they're going to be able to have a good showing against the Adanacs.
Was also the healthiest they've been all tournament. No Jay Stalinsky tonight, no Hayden Sutherland, Riley Benko. This is a banged up team.
Mitchelluk is denied. Rebound wide of the goal. And they're going to have to be pretty well perfect with their shot selection if they want to beat Ben Tebow. His coming out party was that 5-4 win over Calgary in Coquitlam's second game of the tournament. He was a little shaky in their game to start off yesterday against Queen City, allowing 4 through the first period, but really settled in after that point. So he stopped the remaining 20 of 22 shots in periods 2 and 3 en route to a victory. That's a good defensive stand for the Mavericks, and they caused a shot clock violation.
Physicality is going to be key for Mountain View here. They cannot let the Adanacs get these clean looks and shooting opportunities. You got to get on hands, and you got to start pushing back.
Sardiston is one of the big reasons the Mavericks are even in this position. Remember, he had the game winner in the final minute of their game versus Seneca. That was a 10-9 final. Now here come the Adanacs. Their captain is denied by Swan. How about a good response there? It'll be a glove stop, and Ben Mekkelargy will draw a penalty on the play to boot. From drilling and fracturing fluids to specialty aviation fuels and heating oil, Enerchem delivers quality and reliability across Western Canada. With 2 manufacturing facilities, they ensure secure supply and top product performance every time. Enerchem, proud supporter of the Mavericks Lacrosse Club. So Coquitlam will get the first look on the power play in this game. 33% they're firing at. Going up against the 63% penalty killers for the Mavericks. Look for Lincoln Twomley to be the man to fire it. Pass was sent over to him. Telegraphed, though, and the Mavericks are able to get it towards the center line. No reset on the shot clock, so it still is Adanac's ball, but much of that shot clock is wound down. Gets to 10. They're going to need a quick shot and a rebound if they want to continue on this possession. That one from Adam Dane goes wide. Now a last-second chance, and that riser goes off the glove of Swan and out of play. Matty Dane is back in the lineup as well. He got the day off yesterday. He'll join brother Adam. Matty on the bench for this power play, however. Down to the crease. Hartley finds Twomley! Scores!
Well, everyone knows Twombly can rip the rock, and that time he caught Swan deep. Heels are just half a foot or so off the goal line. And boy, you just got a clean lane here. Able to rip it low to the glove. Kind of shoots around a bit of a screen, not that much though. And now the hole is early at 0-2 for the Mavericks.
And a good sign for the Adanacs that they've now got a goal from a lefty and a righty. That's been something that's plagued them a little bit despite that 3-0 record. They're oftentimes getting contributions from one side of the floor, but the other side seems a little bit slow. And maybe those 2 strikes from either hand can get things off onto the right foot. There's a big collision at the Adanacs defensive end, but they do collect. Here's the aforementioned Matty Dane. A shifty, undersized forward, Darian Murray, denied by the stick of Swan.
Adanacs obviously have the scouting report here. If you can hit your corners from distance, you've got a chance to beat Swan, because getting inside, there's not much to look at.
Here is Sardiston with it. He'll go to work on Aiden Lalonde. Decides to feed, far side. Now the righty's going to go to work. There's a man open, it's Wallace. Denied, stick side. by Tebow. Point blank range.
Big save right there on the Calgary Chill's all-time goals leader.
The crowd here in attendance pretty heavily favors the Mavericks. As soon as they find the back of the net, which they will sooner than later, this place is going to erupt. Henrik Lucas has had a bit of a quiet tournament. He'll spin and shoot. That's a guy that the Adanacs would love to get going. Just 1 goal through 3 games.
It's almost like the rest of Nax Nation's busy watching something else, too.
What could be going on there? The Adanacs organization went 2-0 yesterday, taking down Orangeville in Game 1 of the Minto Finals. And then the Adanacs here, the Junior B variety, getting a win against Queen City. Sardison is knocked down. He's going to draw a penalty. And I believe the Adanacs are going to go off here for cross-checking. Triple Point Chemical, your go-to for custom oil-based and water-based chemistry since 2017. From tailored solutions to expert support, they've got the chemistry you need to succeed. Triple Point Chemical, proud supporters of the Mavericks Lacrosse Club.
Mountainview down 2 of their power play 1 players as well. Remember, no Delinsky, no Sutherland today.
Certainly something to keep an eye on. Both players did take warm-ups, but battling some injury. Mitchelluk is going to be a man that will have to eat up a ton more of those minutes. DeWitt off the save. He's always good for a little bit of offense and defense. Dangerously near the center line, able to get away from some pressure. Jordan Benko working on him. Now far side, Dane from a sharp angle. Big rebound, Hartley was there, also on his wrong side, but unable to collect. Now maybe some slow numbers for the Mavericks. Wide drive, and Tebow pushing over to his right. And thought there was going to be another penalty on the play. It looks like it'll just be crease violation, and Luke Banks gets it back over the center line. There's 60 seconds remaining in the cross-checking penalty to Jack Hall, joining this Coquitlam team as a pickup from the island just ahead of these Founders games. Murray opened the scoring with that 5-hole bid on Swan and then tries to reach around. Some contact with the goaltender. Swan didn't like that. Make sure to give Murray a piece of his mind.
Yeah, and the creases, again, Lacrosse Canada rules is supposed to be a cylinder, but as we've seen this week, there's a lot of leeway. Thankfully, no goalies have been injured yet.
Yeah, we've seen a little bit of contact, but nothing overly egregious. Mitchelluk drags his defender, goes back far side. Wallace into the shoulder of Tebow, and Budnick will collect. Got to get through a couple of forecheckers, though, and if the Adanacs can hang on to this, they'll successfully kill off Mountain View's first power play and have that early special teams advantage. Budnick over to Hartley. Henrik Lucas has come onto the floor. There's a healthy whack onto the left arm of Hartley, and it forced the ball to go down. It's in the middle. Spinning away, though, and collecting all in one motion. That's a good collection by Malcolm Richardson. 9 points through 3 games for him.
Still got one on net, though, but yes, the story so far, Coquitlam perfect on special teams.
Here come the Mavericks to the beat of the drums in attendance. Wallace can't get through. A good slide over by Hall. Still have it, though, and a heavy hit from the Coquitlam captain. This is a booming defensive core of the Adanacs. And now a penalty on the play going to go to the Mavericks. Tebow goes off towards the bench. Twomley over to Matty Dane. Adam is on the floor. He'll park himself onto the crease as he usually does. Matty just playing pass with Richardson for a moment. Twomley loves to fire. He will, looking back to that low corner, but Swan gets the better of this chance. Since 1978, Alamo Industries has been Canada's premium turbocharger repair and supply company. Trusted in automotive and oil and gas, and proud suppliers of the top OEM brands. Fast turnaround, hard to find parts, unbeatable service. Alamo Industries, proud supporters of the Mavericks Lacrosse Club.
Wallace got dinged for the cross check. Haven't seen it called that much this week, but the refs decide it's worthy of a foul.
Wonder if that's something that's going to play a factor here as we go on. Semifinals. Let's let the boys decide this one. Hartley through the middle. Great save by Swan. Again, they're looking low here, Cody. Maybe that was in the scouting report, but Swan has bounced back pretty well.
Yeah, 8 for 10 so far, coming into the game with a 771 save percentage in the tournament.
Mountainview will elect to kill as much of this clock as possible. Drake May has had a couple of beauties through their 3 round-robin games. Manual count of the shot clock is on. Ignore that score bug for a moment here, folks, as it will expire and power play 1 will make their way onto the floor. If the Mavericks are able to shut down or at least limit Lincoln Twomley, that is going to be a major key to success. That is a guy who takes upwards of, I would say, 10 to 14 shots per game on average probably. And with a 4-goal performance yesterday, you know he's feeling the hot stick. And then another backdoor finish. It's Malcolm Richardson. Coquitlam's 2 for 2 on the man advantage.
Perfect power play, perfect special teams, and the Adanacs are buzzing here on semifinal Friday. Look at him try, avoid the cylinder. Refs say ball was in before his feet crossed that invisible line. He caught Swan to drop that right knee as well, opens up the far side top shelf, and he puts it perfectly there.
And that's a really good read from Malcolm Richardson, I would say, as well. Alex Swan is a goaltender who certainly takes up a lot of net, even while down on a knee. If you're able to get him into that down position and still float over top, that's a good spot to be in, as they look for more, but Swan answers back with a chest save. Mountainview getting their wholesale change completed. We're over halfway through, so there's going to be a media timeout coming up shortly. Wallace loves that drive, takes a hit, and he's muscled off his path, but does get a shot off. And with that whistle on the crease violation, that'll bring us to said media timeout. So, Cody, we are seeing Mountainview with an emphasis on getting to the middle, but you can tell Coquitlam has obviously watched some tape on this Mavericks team, because you can see Wallace, who is one of those guys that likes the downhill drive. There's oftentimes the low defender going back over and turning it into a double team.
When you see Wallace with the down low drive, though, generally he has some help in there. He's got someone like Sutherland or Delinsky setting that pick, and that at least lets him go one-on-one. You're not seeing that pick get sent right now. I've seen Jordan Benko go out for a couple of offensive shifts. You have to make it a situation where Wallace can be successful, because this Adanacs defense is so good. They don't have any bad players. There's no one-on-ones or isos that a forward actually likes their matchup with. And if Ben Tebow is going to get shots like that all game, oh, he's going to be happy with it. There's nothing too challenging. So for the Adanacs, they have to make it, or they have to continue to keep the Mavs in front of them. They can't allow that transition game to get out of hand. And again, good slides on defense mean you're probably not getting beat one-on-one too much.
I do wonder if an adjustment for Mountainview would be to draw over that double team on the drive from Wallace, and then if they can just feed that pass down to the crease, because ideally in their eyes that's where the slide would be coming from. If you can make that pass across, you're at the very least getting some motion from Ben Tebow and a chance at that one-timer, which we've seen lots of guys have success with on that exact play. Lots still to be decided, as Matty Dane on the run can't beat Alex Swan, who sends one ahead. This is a Mavericks team that loves the transition game. It has helped them all the way along through this tournament. Smiratori will dish back to the perimeter. Sardiston is going to work the two-man game with Michaluk. The extra lefty is just onto the floor now. There's that drive, but a spin back. Good defense by Lalonde. Low shot, a kick save. Rebound fell in front, but Lalonde was right there. Now numbers the other way, as Banks is going with Murray, and that's fired wide of the goal, off the boards and out of play.
I like that look, though, right? Adanacs know, hey, Mavs are going to run it in transition. We got to get ours as well when we can.
These are just two dynamic clubs. Remember, the Mountainview Mavericks, as Cody mentioned, are a bit banged up, not at 100%, not only in terms of the players in the lineup, but arguably more importantly, the players that are not in the lineup. There's a dive shot and a save by Tebow. Just got the left leg out in time. DeWitt on the run. Budnick will vacate. Twomley has come on. And you can see right away 2 Mavericks defenders got their eyes on Twomley. Help through the middle, plus the one goes immediately to the Coquitlam shooter. That's a good read. You know that's something they're going to have to maintain. Murray shot didn't get through cleanly. Mavericks again have a man all the way up the play. The pass is forward over the center line, but not a clean reception, as it was just out of the reach of the streaking defender going ahead. Lalonde takes a peek backwards towards Dane. Slowly into the offensive zone. He'll skip across. Late man was Olsen. Open was Dane. Cross. Crease! What a save by Swan! Loose ball is collected. They'll shoot again, and Swan makes another save. Back to back. Talk about answering the bell when needed.
You got to play games in 5-minute segments, but so far through the first almost 3 quarters of this period, it's been all Adanacs. They're out shooting Mountainview 15-5.
Sometimes it just takes one to get your confidence back. Steele, Sardison tucks away and spins. He'll shoot, and another one from distance that Tebow sees the entire way. Bit of a press now for the Mavericks. They're not going to allow Coquitlam as clean of an exit. And McLean may try to get Michaluk stuck, but they're both going to peel off to their respective benches. Richardson with one in this first period. Helped put his Adanacs in front, 3-0. Darian Murray swings to Twomley. Swim move on the drive. He'll shoot. Can't put it through Swan. And there's a man open back door, but Twomley, why wouldn't he shoot it at this point? Pancho leaves. Jace Victoria enters. Little stutter step move, takes a peek to the perimeter. He'll get the return pass. 10 on the shot clock, tucks his shoulder, shoots a bouncer. Tough one for Tebow, but he stands tall. He is seeing the ball so well. There's only been one period by my recollection that he has not played, and it was in their opening game versus St. John. He played the bulk of that game and then got the rest of the night off for Oliver Collette to come in, and there's a cross-checking call on that play drawn by Matty Dane. Platinum Fitness, Innisfail's go-to gym for over 18 years, locally owned and centrally located and packed with cardio, free weights, and full body equipment. If it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. Platinum Fitness, proud supporters of the Mavericks Lacrosse Club.
So it looks like each team will be getting one, as I believe those are both number 91, Amundsen and Murray, that go off. There was obviously a pretty hard moving pick there as well. Amundsen got his stick up high. So they'll say, I think the pick was the first one, and then Amundsen's cross-check back was the second one. And that's why it'll be Coquitlam ball. Now, the Mavericks bench isn't happy about this. I think this is the right call. But obviously it's something where, you know, you got to be careful with. You got to find that line, and that comes down to setting picks. That comes down to the crease. Every aspect of the game does have a bit of a moving target, and you got to find that line early in the game.
And the tough part about this for the Mavericks as well is with Grayson Amundsen in the penalty box. He is probably their biggest facilitator when it comes to transition. He scored, I mean, didn't you say he scored 5 goals in provincials a couple of weeks ago before this tournament?
Now there's another hard pick, and this probably should be a call.
And it looks like it is going to be. Hartley doesn't like it, but the Mavericks are going to feel a little better considering they didn't like the last one. Winter or summer, your comfort starts with Koba HVAC. With installs, maintenance, and repairs, Koba keeps Calgarians cozy, cool, and comfortable all year long. Trust the experts in commercial heating, ventilation, and cooling. Copa HVAC, we bang harder.
So the issue with that isn't exactly that it's the moving pick. It's just getting that stick in the back of the head, right? You're responsible for your own weapon.
The Adanacs took 5 first period penalties yesterday against Queen City. And they score as a result down on the crease. Mountainview finally on the board.
It's Ryan Sanderson pickup for this tournament. He's arguably been their best forward. Scored a very clutch goal for him earlier in the round robin play. Now on the power play, at least he gets the goose egg off the side, right? He gets Thibault to bite a little bit, and it's a power play marker that makes him feel good about their special teams because they're missing their top end guys. Let's not forget though, this Sanderson's a youngster. He's still got another year left at Millbrook before he heads off to Hamilton College.
He'll be up to 8 goals on the tournament with that one. The key to that goal is that extra step through to the middle. If he stayed where he originally was, there's no reason for Thibault to come off of his post, but because he leans ever so slightly towards the middle, Thibault has to respect the far side and ends up making the wrong calls. It just sneaks past the glove and the post. Back to 4-on-4 as the Mavericks hit their first power play goal. Adam Dane trampolines it in and out of the stick of Alex Swan. So it's been a penalty-filled first period. Mavericks had some numbers, decide to peel out. Sanderson has come back on. I feel like the Mavericks, if they get a chance to go here, they just have to continue to pour it on, get the crowd in your favor, considering the numbers are already at your advantage in that case. But transition now the other way. Budnick from the wing and a glove stop from Swan.
Swan now up to 16 saves this period.
A lot of rubber being thrown his way from the boys in gold. 4-on-4 remains for 15 seconds until we'll go back to 5-on-5, but the Mavericks feel pretty good about a 4-on-3 goal a moment ago, and there's some more good defense from the Adanacs. Miles Archibald, not an easy defender to beat when you're the low guy. That's always the number one rule. When you're the low defender, do not get beat low. When you're the high defender, obviously the opposite of that. Archibald understood his assignment. Twomley backpedals away. Thought about the pass to Matty Dane. Instead feeds Hartley on his wrong side. Ran into a big defender in the middle. Found it again and throws one towards the goal around a screen. And another penalty, and it will go to the Mavericks. This has just been a march to the sin bin all period long. Wolf Automotive Group, formerly GSL Chev City, a proud sponsor of the 2025 Founders Cup. Visit our brand new dealerships right off Stony Trail and Old Banff Coach Road.
Yeah, I get the idea to want to keep it as clean as possible, and obviously Boucher got caught behind the scenes, but you want to see the two teams battle it out 5-on-5 on the semifinals.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate it if the whistles got put away here, but those referees got a job to do as well.
Absolutely.
1 for 3 on the power play, or 1 for 2, excuse me, on the power play coming into this one. Good motion for Coquitlam, a lot of perimeter. Now into the middle for Twomley. It's almost like they're trying to lull the penalty killers to sleep with a lot of perimeter passing until Twomley's open in front. 2.5 left in period 1. Mitchelluk. Quick jab step on McLean! A shorty from Carter Mitchelluk. It's a 1-goal game.
That is a jaw-dropping drop down. Carter Mitchelluk, one of the best shooters to come into the SWAT program in Saskatchewan, suiting up for the Mavericks here. And boy, don't let that kid heat up, because this has been a tournament to forget for him. That's only his second goal of the week. If I told anyone in Alberta that Mitchelluk would only have 2 on Friday, they'd call me a liar and give me a shove.
What a shot that was. And maybe wanting another shorty as they'll re-enter just as quickly. Brendan Harnack will do a quick lap. Tries the reverse check on Charlie Robinson, who's going to have none of that. Special team battle now all of a sudden favors the Mavericks with a power play goal and a shorty, and now Coquitlam is going to get a penalty on the play. Northern Matten Bridge is Canada's leading provider of safe, temporary access. With the nation's largest fleet of mats and portable bridges, NMB keeps crews, equipment, and the environment protected on any terrain in any season, coast to coast.
Yeah, you can just repeat my last statement. I get that is a penalty, absolutely, and player safety is key, but would be nice to see some 5-on-5 play. I guess 4-on-4 will do for now.
We've seen a little 5-on-5, we've seen 5-on-4, 4-on-4, 4-on-3. And if the Mavericks can tie this game late, they can feel much better about their first period heading into the intermission than they did even just a couple of minutes ago. They trailed 3-0, now 3-2, and a good defensive play to knock the ball loose, and there go the wheels of the Mavericks. Muratori going through everybody except for Ben Tebow, goes down to his knees, but then they turn it over, almost back in off of the stick of Muratori. Look at this, an Energizer Bunny. Is that going to be back in? The official brings the whistle to his mouth. It's going to be a crease call against Muratori, and then the referee goes right towards him and says, hey, don't make me call another one. Lucas's pass is a tough one. Here come the Mavericks. It's a 3-on-0. Here comes the transition specialist. Firing wide is Amundsen. Nixon Boucher is onto the floor as well. Budnick didn't realize it. The Adanacs have fallen asleep a little bit here in the final minute. 40 seconds on the clock. Victoria takes a peek back. It is a power play right now for the Mavericks, who get a shot from Sardison. Tebow takes that high into his shoulder. Adanacs got to get this over center. DeWitt says no problem. Now Twomley, he scored a shorthanded goal yesterday in their victory over Queen City. 10 seconds on the clock. Adanacs still in front by 1. DeWitt, does he want to go to the goal for one last chance? The coaches want him to. He'll shoot, and that goes off the end boards, back of the net, and that will bring the final seconds off the clock.
What a job, again, just Ben Tebow's patience. You know, once you see Amundsen running down on you, you're just thinking, oh no, not again. This guy, right? I don't remember, you count on one hand how many breakaways this guy's missed in the past month, right? But for Tebow, he's so calm between the pipes. He doesn't bite on fakes. He's so consistent. I know his save count is only going to be 9 in the period. That's 9 saves. Consistency is key. He doesn't give up rebounds, and he gives his team confidence. That's exactly what you want from your goaltender.
Absolutely, and Ben Tebow, arguably the most important player to this Adanacs club right now. He's been so good through their 3 round robin games, and they're going to need more of that from him. It's 3-2 for the Adanacs over the Mavericks through 20 minutes of play. The next 20 are coming up in a couple of moments. We'll take a breather. Thanks for joining us on BC Sports TV.
So in 2019, we went and visited a crypto mining site. We looked around. I said to myself, there's got to be a better way. My name is Chuck Lecuyer, founder of CS Corporation, home of the IntelliFlex line of product. At IntelliFlex, we're innovators. We design, build, deploy, and operate our system. We designed a system that is very easy to operate. We have industry-leading operation uptime and efficiency. Our product are UL certified. Quality is what we do. Every piece will have their own power distribution system, their own immersion tank, network system, pump, fans. Our clients that we have all have something in common, and they're looking for a high quality product that they could deploy as a modular system that is scalable. At IntelliFlex, our motto is start to finish.
Perfect Surfaces, Canada's leader in rubber flooring and specialty surfaces. From gyms to arenas, our premium rubber flooring is built to take a beating and keep going. Extremely durable, impact resistant, and engineered for high-performance spaces. Our floors are also non-slip, anti-fatigue, and easy to clean, designed to keep athletes safe and comfortable every step of the way. And we don't stop at sports. Transform your garage from plain to showroom ready with SnapGrid tiles. DIY friendly and easy to install, our garage floors handle cars, tools, and everyday life with ease. Step outside. Our interlocking deck and patio tiles bring new life to worn surfaces. Comfortable underfoot, slip resistant, and weather ready. Need more? We offer sport court tiles, playground surfaces, and specialty flooring solutions for every space. Whatever your project, we've got a floor for it.
Perfect Surfaces. You stand on it, we stand by it.
So in 2019, we went and visited a crypto mining site. We looked around. I said to myself, there's got to be a better way. My name is Chuck Lecuyer, founder of CS Corporation, home of the IntelliFlex line of product. At IntelliFlex, we're innovators. We design, build, deploy, and operate our system. We designed a system that is very easy to operate. We have industry-leading operation uptime and efficiency. Our product are UL certified. Quality is what we do. Every piece will have their own power distribution system, their own immersion tank, network system, pump, fans. Our clients that we have all have something in common, and indeed they're looking for a high quality product that they could deploy as a modular system that is
"20 minutes are now behind us. The next 20 coming up. And just a couple of more as both teams have made their way back onto the floor in their respective benches. If you missed any of the action, we find ourselves in this 3-2 game in the first of two Founders Cup semifinals. This one between the Coquitlam Adanacs and the Mountainview Mavericks. It's Tino Farah and Cody Jansen here on BC Sports TV. Cody, fill the folks in. How did we get here?
Yeah, the Adanacs got out to a hot start, to say the least. Darian Murray opened the scoring, then it was back-to-back power play goals, Twomley and Richardson, and the Mavs responded with two of their own. It was a shorty from Carter Michaluk, and then Orion Sardison scored on the power play. Shots on goal, 20-11 in favor of the Adanacs.
What a shot that was from Carter Michaluk as well. Our very own Garrett Eddy, who's been shooting all the clips. Stud. Showed us the shot he has of that one. Yeah, you guys are going to want to see that.
We still don't have live stats either, and they haven't announced any of the goals, so we don't have official.
Fantastic.
Stat counts. Sorry, as I almost walked it. Hey, as a broadcaster, I just feel guilty. My stomach just dropped when I got myself talking.
Dash one, it's okay. We bounce back. Just like the Mountain View
Done
Mavericks
worse.
have. Twomley whistles it wide of the goal, and that's going to go out of play. I do actually have to make a correction as well. I got a message. Ben McIlargy. I've been saying Mickelargy, but Mac. So apologies to the family of Ben McIlargy, the captain of the Coquitlam Adanacs. Wanted to get that in early here as Wallace once again has possession, goes down to the crease. Wonder how he's going to adjust after some of these slides have gone his way. Another one from distance that goes off the stick, and Wallace, a heads-up play to force Luke Banks back into the crease and get another possession back for his team.
Wallace battling two leg injuries right now. Saw him getting work on that all morning at the arena.
What a shift that was. Then he throws one Over the crossbar, a friendly Adanac bounce off the boards. It's a fast break chance the other way. Denied by Swan. Charlie Robinson goes in one-on-one, but cannot beat the Mavericks netminder. It'll go back towards said netminder, and he has no choice but to hang on to it. That's going to be a back-in call. So one of those now has gone either way in these early stages. It was the Mavericks who couldn't take advantage of it a moment ago. Might the Adanacs change that a little bit? Murray, who has one of the 3 for Coquitlam. Twomley has one as well. He's onto the floor. Olsen had 2 against Queen City. Now Lucas fires wide, and another penalty is coming up. It'll go to the Mavericks, and they don't like it. Freehold Royalties, a uniquely positioned leading North American energy royalty company. Thought that maybe we were going to get a little bit of an easing of the penalties come the second period once everybody has settled in, but
we're 22 minutes in, and there's been 14 minutes in penalties, possibly 16 by my count.
And the Adanacs are currently 2 for 3 as Hartley will look back to the outside. Richardson has one of those 2. Hartley was open for a middle. Instead to Murray. Not a bad option either. From the corner, he'll do a lap. Scores! What a shot that was from Darian Murray just inside the post.
It's the right shot choice for a lot of reasons, but the side-to-side movement hasn't really got Swan at this tournament because he does play deep, but you get him stepping the wrong way, and sometimes there's that room, and so Murray, a great outside shooter, just catches Swan. You see it. It's milliseconds after he takes that step off the post. Boom, puts it short side. Multiple now have been pulled short side on Swan, and that's why they're up by 2.
It did look a little bit like Swan was making that motion as if it was going to go towards his midsection. He was going to absorb it into his pads to hang on to the rebound. But right as he went inward, it goes just past his glove. And the Adanacs will get the next possession as well. Now 3 for 4. As Hartley will go to the goal and score. A one-on-one drive and then goes straight to the crease. 3-goal lead is restored.
Just a missed defensive assignment right there. It's unable to, I mean, if you're a defense, you're unable to recover in that in such short time. Once you see him get that time and space, he's going straight to the net. Swan unable to punch it out with that right hand either.
Now numbers the other way, a bounce shot from, I believe that was Robinson who sent it towards the goal. It bounces wide, and just on that Hartley goal, I mean, we've seen some crease calls throughout this tournament that maybe could be questionable. The thing that I like about that drive from Kai Hartley is he doesn't take any chances. The takeoff is clean, but he also goes atop the top of the crease there, so there's no jump of him going across. It's all the way around the perimeter.
Third goal of the Founders count for Kai Hartley.
Robinson elects to slow it down now. Took a look over to Twomley, but decides to feed Murray instead. Next one would be his third, and he'll be denied by Swan. And here comes the transition of the Mavericks. Benko couldn't take it cleanly, and he's knocked off his path. Stick knocked out of his hands as well by Murray, and he's going to make the mad dash to get a defender on in his place.
Now you got to make sure that your opponent has the ball before you hit him. So right call and no penalty, thankfully.
Wallace starting to gallop into that drive, but ran out of room. Steele feeds the far side. Michaluk has made his way back on. There's a nice move through to the middle, but a nice save by Tebow.
That's the calming presence. When things get out of hand, when the Mavs get to the middle, Tebow's come through clutch.
I just think back to that last minute sequence against Calgary when Tebow had to make, what was it, 3, 4, 5 saves in a span of, it felt like just 20 seconds. Amundsen gets it to the outside, scores! Mavericks cut into the lead, down by 2.
Oh, look at this bomb by Ryder Baumick. The big righty uses every inch of that weapon to get the leverage to put it far side, top cheese. Oh yeah, that shot's eaten.
That is a beauty.
There's not many goalies in this tournament stopping that one. You couldn't walk that one up much better.
Perfect placement, perfect timing, perfect shot. Ryder Baumick, second of the tournament. And then the Mavericks will get possession back here. Muratori feeds to the outside for Wallace on his wrong side. He'll get it over to the lefties and drive off ball. It's a righty strong set. Tucking through the pass down low. It trickles over to Tebow, and there's a penalty on the play. Adanacs are going to go down a man. Spark Psychology is proud to support the Founders Cup as part of their mission to foster mental health, resilience, and personal growth for young people.
Cross check in the back. Could have been called. A push just into the crease and a bit of change of possession. Instead, the ref thinks it's deserving of 2. The Mavs are going to their 4th power play of the game. They're 1 for 3 so far.
Sardiston is going to run the point. Throws that backhander again, and the shot is taken well by Tebow. And there's a full press from the Mavericks. Adanacs have 5 more seconds to get over the center line. They will. Banks stopping up at the logo. Both teams always a threat to go to the goal despite being shorthanded. These are 2 incredibly athletic and high IQ teams. Hartley ran out of room, just tries to tuck it between the legs of Swan, and that's not going to beat him from there.
When you get in tight on Swan, there's not a lot to look at. They've scored from outside, they've scored from distance. You got to put it inside the pipe, but there is some stuff to look at.
3 goals for the Mavericks, all 3 of them being right-handed forwards. This being the latest as Baumick gets it across the top, and Tebow makes another stop from distance. Man, does he seem confident. The ball is legged ahead by Charlie Quinn. Dances around Muratori, pass in front, and streaking down it was Archibald, but he had it loaded up before it was actually in his stick, and then draws an interference call.
Nixon Boucher, second-year U17 player, actually. You would not guess by just looking at him. Also, this Mavericks power play, they're resorting to using multiple D-men. Out the back gate, Schroeder, Benko, they've played defense for most of the tournament. Now they're on PP1.
Muratori, actually, I mean, you would be able to confirm or deny this for me. You've seen a lot more of this Mavericks team than me, but it reminds me actually a lot of Jay Stalinsky based on what I've seen from him throughout this tournament.
Yeah, Muratori's more of a pure defender, though, where Stalinsky will play more offense.
Here's Twomley working on Boucher and can't get through that combination. I believe it was Mason Schroeder who was in to close the gap as well.
So Delinsky led the team with 26 points in the playoffs, and I believe Mitchelluk had around 20, Sutherland had around 20 as well. So they're missing a big chunk of their offense this year.
If you've missed any of this, both of those are not in the lineup. It's a big hole to fill for this Mavericks team, but they've put themselves in the fight, down 3-0, but never out of a game. Now trailing 5-3, approaching the midway mark of the second period. So we are back to 5-on-5, and the Mavericks will now be 1 for 3 on the man advantage as Matty Dane feeds Richardson, scored a power play marker in the first period. Over to DeWitt, fakes the shot, now drives, shoots, and it'll be stopped by Swan.
Now, DeWitt's not your typical forward, but we see him get to some great areas on the floor. Like, he uses his frame well. He moves pretty well for a big man, too. I've enjoyed watching him this week.
He is just a dog, I would say, for this Adanacs team. He's very unorthodox when he goes up to the offensive side of the ball, but oftentimes it seems like He just will not be stopped when he wants the drive. Speaking of, Muratori wants that as well. He'll tuck underneath and can't avoid the crease. That was about to be a pretty opportunity. Just stepping down, but there's that good read from the defenders again of the Adanacs. It's that defensive slide. Oftentimes when it's a one-on-one drive, it turns into a double team. Those are some hard lanes to get through.
Well, I know I said they've got the best penalty kill in the tournament. Starting to think they might have the best defensive group, and that's putting them in a category with Ganawagi.
Hartley to the outside. Murray finds room, looking for his hat trick goal, and it goes off the fingers of Alex Swan, just enough. But Matty Dane gets the rebound. These are the possessions you have to take advantage of when you have some tired defenders that are hemmed in. As the manual shot clock count is on, Hartley's pass was too low for Dane, and then he keeps after it to cause a turnover and takes it back. Oh, and they're going to say there was no possession for the Mavericks, so it's going to be a shot clock violation, and I believe we're getting a media timeout here, or are they just going to go
I believe that one ref called for the reset, and the other decided, no, he didn't have possession. I didn't think Nixon Boucher had clear control. He just took a wild swing at it and somehow hit his pocket. So I don't think that counts as full possession.
But they are pointing.
I'm so wrong. And they're just going to give the next possession.
Well, but I agree with you. I don't think that Nixon Boucher ever actually had possession of that ball, and I think that that's what the Mavericks.
Well, he never had possession. He clearly just hit it with the pocket of his stick. But I guess if that's going to count by the ref standards, that's what they're going to call.
You can only take care of what's in front of you, and that's what the Mavericks, arguably as well, the Adanacs should be focusing on here. Yes, they're both probably going to say after this game that the reffing isn't what they would have liked.
Yeah, we hear that all week, though.
Exactly. It's the team that can battle through the things that don't necessarily go in your favor that are going to have the most success here at the Founders Cup. And right now, the Mountain View Mavericks have to battle through a possession where they feel they should be on the offensive side right now.
So they're still having some issues in the penalty box with the shot clocks in-house. They're not able to get them started for whatever reason. I'm not a tech guy, and we're also way too far away to read lips or see anything that is remotely close to going on. I know we got the best camera guy in the league, and I'm not even sure George is going to be able to save us on this one. Oh, well, maybe it worked. Maybe George is the good luck charm, because now the shot clocks seem to be working. So
I think George just saved us.
That's cameraman extraordinaire class right there.
He didn't get the name extraordinaire for no reason, let me tell you that. Darian Murray bobbled the pass, and then he's going to take an interference call, or draw one, I should say. So it'll be a fresh 30, and Richardson is going to collect to kick off this new possession. Over to Twomley. A little bee sting screen is set, and Twomley's chance is off a stick and out of play. The Adanacs have had possession now for probably about 2 straight minutes of game time.
If you're Twomley, just keep firing, kid, because he gets over the top and gets those hands free. You might as well continue to pepper him.
He's going to drive through the middle to create some space for those righties. Now Murray has it as a lefty. He'll shoot back to the short side. It goes over to Dane instead on the run, and that goes into the neck guard of Swan. He'll hang on for a whistle.
The old collarbone catch.
They don't ask how, they ask how many. Finally, the Mavericks are able to exit their zone, and those defenders are going to want the offense to do some serious work on the clock, which goes down under 10 minutes. So we're probably going to see immediate timeout here on the next whistle. That one goes wide. It'll ricochet way outside, and DeWitt having a little bit of trouble due to some pressure of Baumang on his back, and DeWitt is now down. There's no call on the play. And just based on where I can see him grabbing, I wonder if that got him in a sensitive area.
Where some may wear a cup. He's up enough in his own power, which is good to see. We are at our media timeout as well. You talked about how, the Adanacs have clearly been the better team, and I think a lot of that does come down to the offense and just, making sure that your possessions count. Whether it's the shot that misses the goal right there for the Mavericks or the 30 that have hit the goal for the Adanacs, they're doubling their opponents in shots. And if you're hitting the net, if you're making the other goalie work, you're got a better chance, obviously. And, for the Mavericks, I get they're missing big pieces. That doesn't mean you can't capitalize. You have to find a way. They still have enough talent on that bench, but the Adanacs defense has been the better of the two, and they're winning that battle today.
Yeah, there's no question. I will again say, I know I mentioned this earlier, but the opening game of the tournament for this Mountain View Mavericks team where they played against Ganawake and they fell in that game 13-9, but that was one of the most exciting games of the tournament, and it was one of the first ones, if not the first one. Yes, they're down some guys, but like you just said, they have the talent to still get the job done. They're very much so in this game, only down by 2. There's still a lot to be decided here, but I think they need some of these depth pieces that are typically playing a little bit more of a defensive role, but are tasked with going out the O-gate here to get a little bit more of that quality in their offense when they do get those opportunities.
The transition game's disappeared. That's not Coach Trey Christensen's style. They need to score in transition. They need to start moving their legs and get themselves in good spots where they get those odd man rushes. That's how the Mountain View Mavericks capitalize.
It's a clean face-off win for Quinn, denied by the chest protector of Alex Swan. Oh man, that would have silenced this crowd right after a whistle. So we're back at it after the media timeout. I can see DeWitt back on the Adanacs bench, so it looks like he is going to be all right. And the Mavericks will try to cut the lead down to 1 with a far side chance that goes off the corner boards. Ricochets in favor of the Adanacs, but a great job by Schroeder to keep after it. A blind pass behind. Amundsen will tuck his stick. Spin, can't get through the double team. A great hit on the run. It was Jack Hall, and there's a penalty as a result. It's going to go cross-checking, and it will go to Hall as the Mavericks player went down. He gave him an extra shot, and that's going to put the Mavericks back up a man.
Mavericks are only 1 for 4 on the power play. But we talked about the depth and where Mountain View's had to resort to. That was an offensive shift with 3 defenders on it that was able to at least draw a power play. Now they can get their true O guys out there, which they're essentially down to 5, maybe 6 at this point. It's thin pickings.
Sardiston again is going to quarterback. Wallace has it near side, wants the far side of the goal, and it's off the glove of Ben Tebow. Reset goes in favor of the Mavericks. Sardiston loves that backhand feed. He'll skip underneath this time. It goes to the crease. Sardiston drags away, looks towards Michaluk. Check that, it was Wallace. Takes it off the boards. McIllargy pressuring. Michaluk firing, and Tebow stops it. There is DeWitt. Heads up play to just throw it around the 2 forecheckers. It's a chance for Banks to run onto it, and there's another penalty coming up, but it's going to go to Mountain View.
This Adanacs penalty kill's so good. They only give Tebow the shots he wants. They're so calm. They're so positionally set. You can just tell it's a well-run organization right now.
Oh, pass almost picked off, but right into the stick of Twomley. Interference is going to be called against the Mavericks, and we will once again see some 4-on-4 play. Traveling, sending money overseas, CalForex has you covered with competitive exchange rates, fast and reliable service. CalForex makes your money go further. Check them out online at calforex.com. Well, we'll see 4-on-4 for 60 seconds until it'll be a shortened power play for the Adanacs. But the Mavericks now, by my count, are going to be 1 for 5 on the man advantage. And the Adanacs are about to get their 5th chance on the power play. So, I mean, they're even in that category in terms of chances. Twomley forced way outside. He tries to go through, and I mean, we talked about the good defensive slides of the Adanacs. That was a great one, 4-on-4 for Mountain View. Now they'll slow up again. Drake May wants to head off. Wallace has come back onto the floor, as has Braden Sinclair with possession now. Sinclair drives on Robinson. Runs into some trouble, still does get a shot off and avoids the crease. Mountain View can collect, they can keep possession, and Back in is going to be the call as Charlie Quinn fired it back towards the crease, and Robinson just happened to be there.
Drake May, one of those 50 years on the Mavericks, second straight Founders Cup for him, causes the turnover and gets the offense on the floor.
Wallace, heavy screen, room for Baumung, decides to pass. Fake shot from the far side. Victoria can't get it through Tebow. And 20 seconds left in the penalty to Jack Hall. It's about to be a power play for the Adanacs. And Archibald will wisely pull out and let the forward group get on. They're going to have 50 seconds here on the man advantage. 15 on their shot clock. Murray has to chase it down. That clock winds down to 10 seconds. Another pass that was just telegraphed. Got to get something towards the goal now. Murray fakes, shoots, and off a body and wide. And now the Mavericks want to push in transition. They'll send it forward towards the center line. Harnack takes a hit from behind, swims to the goal, just wide. There's that transition game of the Mavericks, just peeking into this game ever so slightly from around the corner. As you mentioned, Cody, it's been a little bit slowed down compared to what we've seen throughout this tournament, and I'm sure in the past for this club, but that's a little glimpse of it. The second unit has come on, but more so just their settled 5-on-5. Just 2 seconds left. Got to be careful of shot selection here. Mitch Luck has come out of the box. Back to even strength. Olsen, he'll shoot. That goes off a stick of Muratori, and that'll expire the shot clock. Game clock goes down to 5:45.
You just wonder how much is left in the tank for this Mountain View squad. They look bruised and battered.
Muratori looking to the top corner. That'll be a save by Tebow. And the thing is as well with gas in the tank is if they win this game, they're going to need to find even more. Because assuming they're able to leave this game victorious, their next one is going to be even tougher in the Founders Cup final. Adanacs also trying to find themselves in that same spot. There is still a semifinal coming up after this, as that one goes from distance into the stick of Swan. But the next semifinal after this one, of course, is going to be between the Ganawage Hunters and the hosts, Calgary Shamrocks. And this place is going to be electric. Cannot wait for that. Mavericks, if they can score here, the lead would be just one. Baumung scored in this period from almost that spot. Tries to hook it down, finds Wallace off the boards. Muscling his way, gets a shot off, and Tebow, it trickled through right onto the goal line, and there's a defender back there that just pulled it off. As Luke Banks keeps his team in front by 2. Now Murray methodically working his way forward. Twomley has come on. Murray with a nice move to tuck around Boucher and steps down to the crease before he shot. Here come the Mavericks. 3 of them over the center line. And a big hit by Robinson. Outmuscles Muratori. Bit of a size disadvantage for the Mavericks defender. Or forward, I guess. I mean, transition specialist. You can call him whatever you want. Everybody's playing everywhere at this point. Earns his team another possession, and he wants to head off.
I'm interested to see if the Mavs start shooting short side. They've tried to go far side a lot. Short side's been open.
Schroeder downhill, and that one was between short and far. It goes right into the Adanacs logo on the chest of Ben Tebow. And there's an Adanacs defender, Charlie Quinn, who got thrown into the glass heavily, and he is not in good shape. Got back onto the bench, though. Play will go on, and interference is going to be called against Mountainview. It's going to be Hartley kicking off the possession, gets underneath the first defender. It was Benko, and then the shot from Twomley is denied by Swan. Fresh 30 for Coquitlam. Adam Dane. Over to Twomley. Matty is on as well. Hartley thought about the far side. Now dishes a one-timer, and that missed the stick of Adam Dane. Now bodies collide. It'll be Mavericks ball. Under 3 to play in the middle frame. Drums filling the ears of the fans in attendance here. There is an Adanac, Matty Dane, just waiting on the floor in the offensive end and hidden behind everybody. You could hear the fans in attendance shouting and pointing towards the Adanac forward who didn't want to cross center. Sneaky little play.
That's more something you see in the Prezi, not here. Usually they're carrying a little bit more weight behind them too when they sit back like that.
Henrik Lucas. Dane had the drive through the middle. Pass doesn't come. Lucas fires around a screen. He tried to catch Swan sleeping a little bit, but it goes off the corner boards. Richardson unable to dump it in deep. He's just going to have to leave it at the boards for the Mavericks to collect. Boucher dropped it. Adanacs pick it up. Jack Hall is going to go 2-on-1 forward with DeWitt. They'll switch spots, and DeWitt couldn't handle the pass. I think the Mavericks are going to have an argument there. They probably would have liked the official to force the Adanac forward to back away a little bit. But the call is the call is the call. Backdoor to DeWitt, a one-timer. Scores! How about that for the defender? Goes airborne and hammers it home.
He gets to the dirty areas, and this Mavericks defense, although not in the worst positioning, you cannot let your man sneak backdoor like that. Swan got a piece of it, but Swan almost helps this thing in, I also believe. I think it kind of bounces off him and goes in, but DeWitt again, hands are free. It goes off the Swan's ankle and over the line.
They call it a game of inches for that exact reason.
DeWitt stays out of the crease, though. Credit to him.
Yeah, I mean, we can go back as well to the Kai Hartley goal. I was talking about his, crease dive of sorts, but very intentional with where he jumps as Swan makes another save there. It's clearly something that's been discussed among the Adanacs group. Is the crease rule is not what you've been used to through the regular season of your own league. No looker, cross crease, one-timer from Wallace. Absolutely robbed by Tebow. Into the final minute. McLean, they want the 2-for-1, a shot on the run. Stopped by Swan, and the Mavericks will get a chance to go forward. Do they want an early shot? They've run out of time for that. There's a delayed call, and Tebow makes the save. It's going to be another penalty to the Adanacs here with 27.7 to play. And the Mavericks are going to call a timeout here. If they can get one late on the man advantage, they can cut that lead back down to 2 again. Remember, they trailed by 1 coming into this period. But just 27 seconds left on the clock. We'll see what they can cook up.
Obviously an important last stretch here, but the Mavericks' power play has been less than ideal. They have as many shorties as they have power play goals in this game. I think you got to find a way to get Sardison open. Right, him or Bombing are, two of the shooters that have been firing this week. I know Bombing doesn't exactly have the goal tally that some of the others might, but there is that potential there. Mitchelluk did score earlier. I just think that Sardison's been your clutch guy right now. You've got to find a way with the clipboard to get him open. Elijah Johansson grabs it and goes to that, but don't think the Adanacs don't know exactly who they want shooting. It's 64 and great.
And it will be Sardison parked over at that lefty shooter spot. Mitchelluk is going to take his usual spot at the point. Wallace is parked near side at the shooter. I believe it's Baumung down low in the near side crease. And far side, I can't quite see a number of the remaining Mavericks forward. Not exactly on the crease like a traditional position would say, a little bit higher, and that's probably due to the play that they're going to run here in a moment. Mitchelluk and Sardison just playing a little bit of catch at that far side. Threatening to shoot. Looks like they're leaving Sardison's spot open a little bit. There's the jump right on cue. Wallace to the middle, wide of the goal. What a look. They still have possession too to shoot, and they will, but Mitchelluk can't beat Tebow. Oh, the play was open for Wallace in tight, but could not get it over the shoulders of Ben Tebow, and the Adanacs will head to the final period of regulation, leading by 3. They're 20 minutes away from returning to the Founders Cup final for the first time since 2022.
Another finish to a period where we're talking about Ben Tebow. It's not the quantity of saves he's been making, it's the quality of saves he's been making. It's timely keeping his team in front by 3. If one of these squeaks through, anything could happen if the Mavs get hot. But instead, he's giving his team that cushion, and he's allowing them to have a comfortable lead despite only scoring 6 through 40 minutes of play, which we know that their offense has more firepower in the tank. I don't think their offense has been playing phenomenal either. They've been good enough, but they've got another level to get to. Their defense, though, this has been the best game of their week by far. They continue to get better as the week goes along.
You can tell that this is a team that is built from their goaltender out. You called Ben Tebow a calming presence. He has been exactly that once again. 20 minutes just around the corner. It's the final period of regulation here on our first of 2 Founders Cup semifinal matchups live on BC Sports TV.
So in 2019, we went and visited a crypto mining site. We looked around. I said to myself, there's got to be a better way. My name is Chuck Lequier, founder of CS Corporation, home of the IntelliFlex line of product. At IntelliFlex, we're innovators. We design, build, deploy, and operate our system. We design a system that is very easy to operate. We have industry-leading operation uptime and efficiency. Our product are UL certified. Quality is what we do. Every piece will have their own power distribution system, their own immersion tank, network system, pump, fans. Our clients that we have all have something in common, and then they're looking for a high quality product that they could deploy as a modular system that is scalable. At IntelliFlex, our motto is start to finish.
Perfect Surfaces, Canada's leader in rubber flooring and specialty surfaces. From gyms to arenas, our premium rubber flooring is built to take a beating and keep going. Extremely durable, impact resistant, and engineered for high-performance spaces. Our floors are also non-slip, anti-fatigue, and easy to clean, designed to keep athletes safe and comfortable every step of the way. And we don't stop at sports. Transform your garage from plain to showroom ready with SnapGrid tiles. DIY friendly and easy to install, our garage floors handle cars, tools, and everyday life with ease. Step outside. Our interlocking deck and patio tiles bring new life to worn surfaces. Comfortable underfoot, slip resistant, and weather ready. Need more? We offer sport court tiles, playground surfaces, and specialty flooring solutions for every space. Whatever your project, we've got a floor for it.
Perfect surfaces. You stand on it, we stand by it.
So in 2019, we went and visited a crypto mining site. We looked around. I said to myself, there's got to be a better way. My name is Chuck Lequier, founder of CS Corporation, home of the IntelliFlex line of product. At IntelliFlex, we're innovators. We design, build, deploy, and operate our system. We designed a system that is very easy to operate. We have industry-leading operation uptime and efficiency. Our product are UL certified. Quality is what we do. Every piece will have their own power distribution system, their own immersion tank, network system, pump, fans. Our clients that we have all have something in common, and indeed they're looking for a high quality product that they could deploy as a modular system that is scalable. At IntelliFlex, our motto is start to finish.
The AC/DC is on in the arena, and that means there's a new period just about to commence. The Mountainview Mavericks are making their way back towards the face-off circle, and that's going to be step number one, is getting through that battle, because they got plenty of work to do here, trailing 6-3 in the first of two Founders Cup semifinal matchups. This one against the Coquitlam Adanacs. Find themselves in the driver's seat through 40 minutes of action. This game is still up for grabs, and the Mavericks have to go. They have to break down this defensive core of the Adanacs, who are so strong. But you just have to find a way to get the job done if you want to find yourself in the dance.
Special teams have been the difference. Mavs are 1 for 5 with an opportunity to start the period. Adanacs are 3 for 5 on the power play.
Tino Farah, it's Cody Jansen, cameraman extraordinaire George Parra, somewhere to our left here on BC Sports TV. Chase Budnick did a nice job to split a couple of defenders, gets the offense going early in the third period. Kai Hartley scored earlier in this game as well, last period to be exact. Here's Hall, spins away. There is still some carryover penalty time to DeWitt, who currently watches on from the penalty box. And when the Mavericks take possession back, they're going to have 55 seconds to work with.
Mavs only have one 5-on-5 goal this entire game. One goal in the power play came out of the stick of Orion Sarson. You'll see him near side of the shooter spot.
Here he is. He shot, and there was room at that far side, but can't beat Ben Tebow. Cody, you mentioned in the last period that he is a guy that you would love to see shoot the rock a little bit more here. He is one of the key pieces for this Mavericks team.
They keep going far side on Tebow, and it has only worked once this game.
Hartley through the middle. The pass is good, and the defensive stand knocks the ball away. It's deep in the corner. The Adanacs forwards have vacated, get the penalty killers back on, and Hartley did the rest of the work to keep the ball in deep. Just 10 seconds remaining until DeWitt can step back onto the floor. So the Mavericks will go back to their more settled offense here. Don't want to shoot until DeWitt is getting into the mix or just trailing behind. Directing traffic as he comes out. Victoria forced into the corner. Gets a couple of whacks from Robinson. Victoria gets away from him. Back to the point. Here's Schroeder shooting off the post. Oh, man. Tebow got a piece of it, but you're right, Cody. They shot to the other side this time.
Yeah, there you go. That's the short side look that Tyler Ogier had a chance on in their round-robin game.
Now DeWitt down the middle. Nice save by Swan. Rebound. A heavy one denied by Swan again. One thing I will say about the efforts of Alex Swan in this game is that when he is allowed a goal against, he has a stretch where he bounces back very well. Of course, he has not allowed one yet in this third period, but there's a couple that he would likely want back. I think back to the opener where his stick just twisted a little bit, or the one where his glove just came off the post back in the second period. But he has had some stretches here where he has shown he can compete with the best of them. Now a turnover. It's a chance the other way for Steele. Scores! It's a 2-goal game once again.
Only the second game he's dressed in this Founders Cup. Liam Steele with the massive marker. The youngster righty pulls it short side high. Check, check. Okay, we've heard this before. He catches Tebow going to his left, and that is a clutch goal. That is a Mavericks goal. They score in transition. Their set offense has never been top in the league by any means. They need to use their feet. They need to keep running. And now for the Adanacs, they got to find a response here.
They've been able to respond every time they've needed to. It's the Mavericks who have just had a hard time getting over that next step. Remember, they did cut the lead down to 1 late in the first period to make it 3-2, but ever since, it's been a 2-goal or 3-goal deficit. Hartley to Murray through the middle, a one-timer attempted by Adam Dane, just couldn't get contact with the ball. Mavericks will look to clear their zone. Forecheck, though, from Henrik Lucas, causing them some problems. Able to eat up essentially half of their shot clock. A good effort there individually by Henrik Lucas. Sardiston to Victoria. Gets to the middle, fakes the shot on the defender, and that catch crossbar. A close call. It was almost too straight for the Mavs.
Well, Jace Victoria is a youngster, first-year junior player, but he does have some leadership experience. He was a captain on Team Alberta, and he's one of the players that you can look to that maybe can step up like a Liam Steele.
Lincoln Twomley. He has one in this game. It came way back in the opening frame. A spinning shot and a stick save. A couple of bodies trip over each other as Richardson and Olsen got their paths crossed. Now Amundsen spins away. Nice drop pass, and it's deflected away by Coquitlam. Now the ball is up. Mavericks take it back. It's another turnover on the offensive side of center for Mountainview.
Brady Sinclair, veteran player, fifth-year player. This is his last week in a junior lacrosse. He's not going out easy.
Wallace drives, shoots wide, and he steps down in the crease. Oh, that was close, and he shares some words with Charlie Quinn before heading off. Just the ultimate power forward. Richardson off the left pad. Here comes Jordan Benko. On the run, swim move, then runs into some pressure behind. Just kind of got lost between a few defenders, and it'll be possession Adanacs.
Now, I never had a minor lacrosse coach yelling at me, but you got to get it away from the bench side right there. If you're in danger, move out.
I think the key for the Mavericks for the remainder of this period is to not let the adrenaline get the best of you. You mentioned for some of these guys, it's their last weekend of junior lacrosse. There's going to be some high-flying emotions back across, and the shot on the one-timer from Hartley didn't get through. But you cannot allow the emotions of the moment to take control of this game. You have to stick to the game plan that your coaches set forward.
One thing I will say, though, is that this environment doesn't scare them. They've been to the Founders Cup. They've got one of the loudest arenas in Junior B lacrosse. They're used to playing in crazy environments.
Here is Victoria. Over to Baumang. He'll fake the shot. He'll take the shot, and he'll score. Baumang gets his second, and it's a one-goal game.
Another player we mentioned before, Ryder Baumang, 16 points in the playoffs. Fourth goal of the Founders Cup from him. It's driving, it's catching. Thibault again, he moves that left foot. This behind the net camera is going to show you best. You catch him moving and you're shooting on the run. It's just that little step at the last second. Caught him moving. Baumang has an absolute cannon of a shot. And now it's a one-goal game, and boy, I can tell you there's some nervous parents in the stands in front of us, Tino.
He had one goal on the tournament coming into this game, and now Ryder Baumang has two. They say you save your best for last, and Mountain View hopes this is not their last. But Ryder Baumang has put them in a position they've been in before. But how do you answer with some more now? Dane to the far side. Hartley spins away. Takes a peek up top. Adam Dane sends it down low to Matty. Through the middle. Hartley scores! Back in front by two. The response that the Adanacs needed.
Clockwork clutch, Kai Hartley. Look at him just fly down the middle. Defender trying to give him a push. Instead, got top side on him. That means he can still get a clean shot despite taking the punishment. And it's one that sneaks through Swan again. Probably might want it back. It's those clutch saves that do move you on from a semifinals to a final.
And Hartley's second. Gets their seventh onto the board. He was shaken up after that. He's actually going to go down the tunnel, I believe, or check that. It's Callum Olsen going down. But we'll see the status of Kai Hartley in a couple of moments. As an interference call is going to go back to, or going to go against Coquitlam, but for anybody that didn't notice, there was about 1 second on the shot clock as well when Hartley was able to get that over the goal line. A timely and clutch goal, but now a penalty is coming up to the Adanacs. Swan is on the bench. Extra attacker is just making their way on right now, and it will be Victoria, but Michaluk shoots that high into the chest protector, maybe off the throat guard of Tebow. Doesn't matter. It's a save nonetheless. Slashing is going to be the call, and it looks like it will go to Adam Dane. It was behind the play.
Mavericks 1 for 6 on the power play. This has been an issue in the worst way. If they want to get back in this one, I think it's got to come through some special teams opportunities here.
Remember, Coquitlam has 2 shorthanded goals in this tournament. Lincoln Twomley and Charlie Robinson. The latter of those 2 is typically killing some penalties. He wasn't out on the first unit this time. Richardson. Never a bad candidate to kill some clock, as you see his footwork creating a little bit of space. He'll stop up, protecting his stick. Now Matty Dane. 10 on the shot clock. Everybody starts to head towards the bench, and Dane, a smart call there. He shoots off the outside of the pad of Swan and then gets his own rebound all in one motion. Remember the name Matty Dane, folks. He is going to be a contributor at the junior level for years to come, just in his first year of junior lacrosse. Twomley, he swims through a double team, stops up, just going back and forth here. He has room over the top, shooting on the run, and that did go off of Swan. Dane is going to do some more work in a forechecking effort, keeping the Mavericks deep in their zone for a moment, and now they just have 45 seconds left to work with on the power play.
No shots on goal yet this power play. You'll see Mitchell go up top on the lefty strong look.
He'll get the return feed, tuck away on the screen. Scores! Mitchelluk, a beauty on the power play.
Another short side shot gets past Tebow. Now Carter Mitchelluk can rip the pill, folks. This is not a surprise to people who have watched him play, but he hasn't been hitting his targets this week. Admittedly so, he'd tell you this has not been good lacrosse for him at the Founders Cup compared to how good he was last year. But this is a perfectly placed shot on a power play that needed water in the desert.
Unreal. Carter Mitchelluk. What a rip. There was about enough room for a lacrosse ball into that top corner, and he stung it perfectly. It's again a one-goal game. 11-11 remaining in the third period. Lucas drops his shoulder, and it's kicked aside by the left pad of Swan.
I just love how the Adanacs respond. As soon as something doesn't go their way, they are nose down, charging north, no fear. It's short memory or no memory for them.
I got to spend a lot of time last year with this organization, more so on the junior A side of things, but it trickles all the way down throughout every aspect of this organization. Oftentimes, the phrase is, what's next? They can be down by 1, they can be down by 5, they can be up by that amount as well. It doesn't matter. Once they get to the bench, it's what's next, and they look forward.
Well, if someone showed you the stats in this game, you wouldn't believe it's a one-goal game.
Nice pass, almost a nice finish, but Tebow kept that left arm down. That's a big and timely save. Adanacs go back to their offense. Twomley. Mountainview has done a really good job at slowing him down since he scored back in the first period. They would love to keep it that way. Murray still looking for his third. He'll try on a twister release. It's not going to go. Long pass ahead. Harnack. Drop pass, and the drums fill the air once again. Sinclair. Screen is set by Mitchelluk. Sinclair spins and shoots, and a save made by Tebow. There's a penalty being called. It's going to go to Charlie Quinn. The Mavericks are going to get a chance to tie it on the power play.
And Quinn found himself a little hurt earlier in the game. Now he comes back. He's not happy about this here. It's going to be a roughing call against the Adanacs as we get to our media timeout. This is not exactly what you want after the Mavs power play. Although they only had one shot on their man advantage, it stung Twine. You don't want to give them too many more looks like this.
And I think if there's something the Adanacs can take from this, it's like, yes, they did allow that power play goal a moment ago, but think of the blocks that they were building, the bricks that they were stacking on top of each other on that penalty kill leading up to that moment. They had, I believe it was 2 or 3 resets in the offensive zone. There was that big effort for Matty Dane and Lincoln Twomley on the other side. You were about 15 seconds away from getting away from that, and suddenly this game feels very much so in their favor in that they limit the power play of the Mavericks again, and they stay in front by 2, but the Mavericks get one back, and instead it's a 1-goal game.
And the issue with the hit by Charlie Quinn, it isn't exactly that it's egregious. It's that it's after the shot, and it's in the back. You just can't give the refs any reason to look at that, especially the way that they have had quick trigger fingers in this one. You just can't put your team in that spot. I get it, regular season, that probably never gets called. The way the Founders Cup has been flying today, you are playing with fire, and now Trey Christensen having the conversation with the refs. You almost wonder, that's partial timeout right there. That just gave his big guns an extra 20 seconds to catch their breath.
It's a veteran move. We'll see if it pays off. There's an ongoing discussion going on right now at center between all 3 referees. Doesn't look like there's any issue on the clock or anything. Just getting themselves on the same page, I suppose, but looks like that page has been decided. It's going to be Mitchelluk at the point. Sardiston on his right, Wallace on his left. McIllargy and Budnick will be the high penalty killers. Skip feed underneath. It was collected by Baumung. Back to Wallace. Over to Mitchelluk. He'll shoot wide. Might have caught a stick. Now Sardiston puts it off a body, and it's through the crease. DeWitt diving, not allowing the ball to be collected by the Mavericks. What an effort that is. And it's going to be a crease violation, and that is just one of those little things that are not going to show up on a stat sheet, but Keenan DeWitt just got his team possession back.
Jack Hall as well got his stick in the way of that shot. That's why DeWitt got a battle for a loose ball.
Adam Dane working with brother Matty. There's a broken stick down on the floor. Adam leaning like a center in basketball, just trying to post up on his defender. He'll throw one off the inside of the foot, and just like Matty Dane did on the last PK shift, Adam Dane gets the possession back.
Loose balls bring wins, and so far the Adanacs are proving that point true.
Hartley protecting his stick. Split some defenders. It was Benko and Boucher. Hartley still with it. Now Twomley. Does he want that downhill? He's telling everybody to clear out, go to the bench. Twomley, nice fake. He'll shoot, and it's stopped by Swan, and he gets the rebound. Twomley, much like Adam Dane, but then he puts it down. I guess he ran through the crease. Oh, that close to about a minute and a half coming off of this penalty in one shift.
Similar situation to the last power play goal they allowed, though.
And guess who's back on the floor? Mitchelluk through the middle to Wallace, wide of the goal. Back around, Baumung! Tie game!
Well, big time. I mean, it's just your players showing up here, and it's Baumung. It's a farm kid from Innisfil. It's not a superstar growing up with a golden spoon. This is a workhorse who earns every minute of play. He puts the muscle into it. Baumung buries his 3rd, and none bigger this season for the Mountainview Mavericks.
You mentioned it a moment ago. It was eerily similar to the last PK. And it ends up being the exact same.
Penalties are 2 minutes, and you got to kill the entire 2.
Back to square one. It's 7-all. Mavericks have climbed back from 2 separate 3-goal deficits. Now Victoria is stopped up by the Coquitlam captain. McIllargy then blocks his pass. That's a good defensive stand. And he's going to draw an interference call as he goes down. Charlie Robinson wants to run.
Third of the night and 4th of the tournament, scored by number 17, Ryder.
It is not time for the Adanacs to panic at all. But the momentum is very much so against them. Richardson to Matty Dane. He'll step in fire. Wide of the goal. It bounces all the way back towards the restraining line. Richardson steps into one. A big save. It'll go out of play. And it's going to be Adanac's possession off the left pad of Alex Swan. Remember, this Mavericks team came all the way back against Seneca. Dane denied by the shoulder. Ball is loose. Dane didn't realize it. It's loose again, and Henrik Lucas able to take it off the half wall. Coquitlam has been all over the offensive rebounds, keeping these defenders tired and on. That one by Murray didn't miss by much. Hartley finds it. He tucks his stick. He runs into two defenders, though, and the ball gets dropped down. He's dumped into the boards. It's going to be another interference call, and it's going to go against the Mavericks.
Second interference call goes uncalled. It'll remain Adanac's ball here.
DeWitt is going to go out for an O shift. Expect him to bump and grind in the middle of the floor. Dane, Adam that is, he'll get the screen set and fire to the short side wide, and it bounces out of play. Possession Mavericks.
Difference has been offense so far in this period. Mavs have 4 goals on 9 shots. The Adanacs have 1 on 15.
This place is going to go crazy if Mountainview is able to score here. Michaluk scored from a similar spot in the first period. This time it goes off a body. Gets it back to the near side to Sinclair. Down to the corner. Sardiston flips to Sinclair. He just waved at the ball, missed it. Finds it in the corner, does a lap behind. Wants the wraparound, throws it into an open area, and it'll be more of a dump in. And here come the Adanacs. McLean. That heavy step towards the middle as if he was going to drive. Gets it back to the offense, though, instead.
The Adanacs are doing a great job covering Cameron Wallace. They basically had a double team on him from the start of that shift.
Now Murray. He'll drive. Scores! Darian Murray! Hat trick! And the Adanacs take the lead.
What a clutch finish. 6th goal of the tournament for Murray. He even sat a game out, but when you need a big goal, that's the gun you hire. He puts it low on Swan yet again, and the A's are back up by 1.
Well, you said it on the goal from Ryder Bama. Big-time players, big-time moments, and Darian Murray matches that effort with his hat trick goal. Mavericks have yet to take the lead in this game, and it's a turnover. Muratori going to the goal. Tebow makes the stop. And there's a penalty on the play. It's going to be an illegal substitution. Muratori, I think, wants a penalty shot, but it's just going to be a power play. And honestly, maybe not the worst thing in the world. They've scored on their last 2 straight.
I think Muratori thought the penalty was on, was an infraction against him. It wasn't the substitution person affected the breakaway. It was just there was some chaos in front of that Adanacs bench.
Well, Miles Archibald is going to be the one to serve for the Adanacs. I mean, another thing that you said on the last power play, it was that line about penalties or 2 minutes. You got to kill the entire thing. The Adanacs have been good as of late on 3/4 of them. How do they get through that extra 15 to 20 seconds? Michaluk pass over to Sardiston to the short side, and Tebow makes the stop. That's a good adjustment by the Adanacs netminder.
He's got beat a couple of times short side. Now he's going to hug that post a little bit tighter.
Quinn took the last penalty. He can make up for it by helping on this kill, and he's in some discomfort after he got knocked down. He's going to head off, favoring his left side, it looks like. Budnick dancing dangerously around that center line. He puts it deep into the corner.
4 minutes for a chance in the Founders Cup final.
Oh, Michaluk lost possession. It goes back to Banks. 1:05 left until Miles Archibald will come back onto the floor. Banks stops up in the offensive zone. Got to be careful of that center line, and it's going to be a back over call. He's got to put it down right away. That is exactly why you got to be careful in that spot. And realistically, the Adanacs are lucky that didn't turn into a breakaway chance because there was a Mavericks defender right there. 3:20 remaining, 36 left in the power play. It'll go to Mitchell through the middle, and there's that tie-up on Wallace. They do not want him to shoot, period, but especially not from there.
They've really collapsed towards the middle. I'm not sure why the Mavericks felt the need to force that one when they're getting good looks from the outside.
Plumlee to Dane. Adam Dane keeps it in the corner. He'll swim through. Stick was tied up, but he maintained the handle. And we're back to 5-on-5. First kill for the Adanacs in a while. Hartley wants it. He'll get it. Shot. Ends up in the corner. And it's pinned along the glass. How do we still have another semifinal after this? What a game.
6 penalty kills for the Adanacs tonight. Massive.
Will that be the difference? It's Jace Victoria with a man on his back. It's Budnick. Victoria tiptoes the side of the crease, gets around. He's threatening the spinning shot. He'll take it, and it's wide. Takes a swing at the left arm of McIllargy. Ball is in deep towards Sardiston. Coquitlam doesn't want to pick it up. They want this shot clock to wind down. Careful in your defensive zone. That's got to be the message now. Take care of the ball. Under 2 minutes to play. Richardson finds Matty Dane. Not in a huge rush here. Hartley knocked down his own man, Henrik Lucas, trying to set a screen for Dane. Murray, and a big save by Swan. It'll go to the far side. 90 seconds left in regulation. Mavericks are going to call a timeout here. If you're the Mavericks, are you pulling the goalie right now, or are you going to give your 5-on-5 one last chance before you go to that?
I give your 5-on-5 one last chance. You've scored 4 goals this period. Your shooters are starting to heat up. But now if you're Elijah Johansson, Trey Christensen, and company, you have the opportunity to talk to your group and say, hey, on that last Wallace feed, I get you want to hit him in the middle because he's generally automatic from there, but this Adanacs defense knows. They're sending 2 guys to him as soon as he gets to the middle. I get it. He's 6'3". He has the reach of a center in basketball, but you cannot just force feed him. You have to play the game you're dealt, and that is shooting from the outside. That is why Bombing's got multiple goals. That is why Mitchelluk has multiple goals. You're going to have to make a great shot to score here. You're not going to be able to drive the paint like you want. And I don't see that happening. I'm not sure a quick stick look is going to become available to you, but they are going to run it 6-on-5, and the method for that is probably now or never.
I do wonder as well if to go 6-on-5 right now, you're forcing the Adanacs to play more of a zone, a box and one. And if you can get a forward late in the clock to go back towards the bench, maybe now the Adanacs defenders are scrambling a little bit after having to make an adjustment on the fly. We'll see Mitchelluk shot early in the clock, and there goes Ryder Baumung back towards the bench. But the Mavericks still have it. The pass is bobbled by Schroeder, and here comes DeWitt, the low-handed swim. He's going to go in alone on Swan, who makes the save when it matters most. They'll get another chance, but they have no more timeouts, and 60 seconds remain. Swan did his job. Now the forwards have to come up clutch. 6-on-5 again. Mitchelluk gets to the outside to Baumung. Takes a peek back to the near side. There's a man open at Sinclair. Now Mitchelluk, shot, didn't get through. Ricochets to the near side, there's 40 seconds left. Sinclair, 2 to shoot. He'll fire wide. It'll go off the corner boards, and the Adanacs can collect. There's 34 seconds left. How do they want to play this here?
No shots on the last 2 possessions for the Mavericks.
Adanacs almost give it away. Now they do. Mavericks are going to get another chance. A fast break forward. Amundsen's gonna look back, 22 seconds on the clock. Gotta go here. Swan onto the bench, 6 on 5, but they're still getting guys onto the floor. 14 seconds on the clock. Sardison loading, firing, saved by Tebow. Under 10 to play, Hall has it, and the Adanacs are gonna call a timeout with possession. 7 seconds on the clock.
Massive save by Ben Tebow. We talked about it's the quality, it's not the quantity that he's had to make in this one. That save is massive, and again, it's controlling the rebound. We've seen time and time again Coquitlam take those shots and get their own rebounds back. Not the other way around in this contest. He has really dropped the ball in his crease, and that allows his team, you get the timeout, you got to drop the play. Yes, you got to exit the zone now. Anything can happen. We saw craziness in Alberta already this year in Game 7 of the Rocky Mountain Lacrosse League Junior A Finals. There's still 7 seconds left. Not a lot of time, but there's time.
And if the Mavericks can hang on to anything here, the Adanacs have not been perfect on their exits. If you can cause a turnover, which you have to do quickly here, there is still a chance, and they're going to double team Malcolm Richardson right away. Everybody from the Adanacs is spreading out to create some gaps in case Richardson needs to make a move here. But he's likely going to want to send it in deep and let Miles Archibald do the rest. Richardson is going backwards. He's going to go below the goal line. 3 seconds on the clock. Tebow comes out to set a screen. It's launched all the way down the floor, and the Adanacs are going to go back to the Founders Cup final for the first time since 2022. Heartbreak for the Mavericks. They climbed all the way back to tie the game. But the Adanacs got some heroics this time from Darian Murray, who gets the game winner late. His hat trick goal. And why wouldn't it be capped off with some late saves from Ben Tebow? Who else to seal the deal when you need it to most?
It's a response. It is those responses. They didn't let the Mavs get in on any massive runs, and that is why Coquitlam's going to the championship. They had answers at every corner where you thought, is this when the tent folds? It did not.
There is a long discussion going on right now in the Mavericks huddle. They will now make their way back towards center for one of the best traditions in all of sports. The respect of the handshake after a game, and what a game it was. An absolute battle from start to finish. Wow. If that's what the first semifinal looks like, I cannot wait to see what's next on tap here. It's going to be between the Ganawake Hunters and the Calgary Shamrocks. Cody and I are going to switch spots, so Cody's going to take the call. I'll step aside and play the role of color commentator, riding his coattails for at least one more game. But man, what a show this was. Nothing to hang your head over if you're the Mavericks. We've talked so much about how depleted this lineup is, and they push the top team from Pool A to the brink. 8-7 is the final. Man, what a finish. And we'll step aside for a moment while we await the announcements of the MVPs. It's hard to look past Darian Murray, who put up 3, including the game winner late. That might be the obvious choice for the Adanacs. There's a lot of defenders who could be in the running as well.
Yeah, you want to pick Ben Tebow, but he's already won it this week. I think Murray has to be the front runner. Game-winning goal, clutch responses multiple times, open the scoring, finish the scoring.
Announcements coming up in just a moment. Let's find out who those MVPs are going to be.
Each game showcases the talent, dedication, and spirit of our national summer sport. With that, I am proud to introduce Rocky Mountain Lacrosse League Commissioner Ian Stewart to present today's August Electronics game MVP for each team as selected by their respective coaches. Each MVP is awarded with a white hat and a belt buckle. For the Mountainview Mavericks, number 17, Ryder Beaumont.
Ryder Beaumont with a 3-goal performance. He'll get the MVP for the Mavericks. They needed some clutch performances, and was he ever clutch when they needed him?
And for the Coquitlam Adanacs, number 91, Darian Murray.
And there he is, Darian Murray, 3 goals in his own right, including the game winner late in the third period. Locked in this final score of 8-7, and now we'll wait to see who wins the matchup after this between the Hunters and the Shamrocks. Cody, what a game.
Yeah, you don't need a Masters to know that Murray was the MVP, the most valuable player on this Adanacs side. Without him, who knows if they're going to the finals on Sunday.
Well, they'll get a day off tomorrow, and when they get back to the turf, it'll be for the Founders Cup, 1 p.m. on Sunday afternoon. As they watch on to the next one. Again, it's the Hunters versus the Shamrocks. That one coming up next. 8 p.m. is the scheduled start time. Cody Jansen is going to have the call. We'll take a quick breather for the time being. Thank you for joining us for this one. We hope you join us for the next as well, for the entire crew of BC Sports TV. For Cody Jansen and cameraman extraordinaire George Parra, I've been Tino Farah. See you next time.